I want you to imagine you are on your way home from uni. You have to take the southbound Northern Line. Whilst walking towards Tottenham Court Road station, you keep your focus on your phone to check the schedule. Beneath you, grey squares alternating in shape and size and the feet of other people determine where you place your next step. Wait. The red man tells you to stop. 15 seconds pass and a countdown from 12 lets you cross the junction. There it is. As you follow almost blindly the path towards the station, as you've walked it 1,000,000 times before, and it is almost a habit running on autopilot, you realise something's different. You look up. Undefinable creatures emerged right in front of your eyes. People start to touch them, yet you, frustrated, turn around and decide to walk instead. Wait, cross with care. On your path there are barriers on the left, yellow marks beneath them and seating arrangements on your right. Together they create a corridor for you to follow. You look around and notice the almost finished construction above the station. A child and a family force you to move left, and a biker crosses your way illegally driving on the sidewalk. Construction barriers continuously guide you down the road. Construction site workers, busy moving from left to right, up and down, further determine where you place your next step down the linear path. Maybe you should have taken the train instead. If only that inflatable thing wouldn't have been there. Now you have to walk in this jungle of urban barriers that dictate your circulation around the city. All these layers of urban objects and people of the city that indirectly guide our movement are too much to individually focus on. Our routine and memory have caused us to create habits of avoiding collision with said urban objects and people. If a red light tells us to stop, we stop. A label on the floor to look left, we look left. A green light to go, we go. Avoid a collision with other people by circulation into a different direction or adjusting to their pace. Recycle bins and another scaffolding of yet another building rule over your next step. As you continue to walk towards the small tunnel created by the steel frame, there is something emerging from the floor. Similar to the emerging creature from the station, this one starts to create a space within an enclosure caused by urban barriers. In order to pass through, one must collide with its limbs. Scared to touch and break, you move through the tunnel of soft air-inflated creatures. It awoke you from your habit-driven autopilot mode, and you start to notice more and more of the urban code written on the floor in grey squares. People's movements, natural environments, and literal signs telling you how to move. 5 stripes. Out of habit, you stop, look left, look right. You circulate around the creature and enter the space it created. You kind of want to touch them, but don't know how. You kind of want to play with them, but don't want to break them. For a second, you forget about your path and train and think of the 3 girls in the bus playing with the CCTV camera. What would they have done? By now they would already have a winner for a newly invented game involving the bubbly inflatable creature. I want you to imagine where else these creatures could emerge from and get people's attention. Where our habits in regard to the urban context dictate almost all of our movement, but also where there might be more freedom to it. Nature, trash, people, built and temporary barriers, signs and construction sites rule indirectly over our movement and circulation around the city. These creatures are meant to disrupt said movements in order to induce a state of play, whether for a minute, a second, or a moment, as long as rules don't determine our movements and interactions with them. We learn from these creatures that it is a playfulness and intuitive interaction, but also force which we need to engage with them. We cannot simply ignore them as we do other surrounding objects. I want you to imagine if there's other ways in which we can disrupt patterns embedded into our habits in order for us to become more aware of our surroundings.